What it is, 92.9 FM WDUP. Your boy Mike Mitch to the mother effing ill in the building. We got a special guest. Goes by the name of Franc Grams.
Franc Grams. What's good, man? What's good, man?
Ain't nothing, man.
How's everything, my dude?
Everything's fine, man. Got the Premonition out here. Second
coming,
album
man.
in a year, man. You know what I mean? Touch on it. Tell people what they should expect on this album right here.
Man, everything, man. You know, we put out the Let's Start Over project earlier in the year in February. And, you know, as far as the production on that, you know, I reached back out to Smoke, you know, on Smoke the World. He's out here from New London, Connecticut as well. He produced the whole album. That was one of the first producers I ever worked with in my life, you know, so I wanted to reach back out, you know, to the roots to really tell that story. You know, that project was a real personal project, you know, in which I told a lot of the stories. I didn't care I told my life story. I didn't really care who was going to play it, what blogs were posted, who was going to like it. It was really all for me and whatnot. You know, moving forward, you know, to the Premonition, you know, it's really just a balance between, you know, of course, my story is always incorporated. You know, everything I talk about is all me. But, you know, that balance of, you know, of commercially appealing production, you know, fields and records and whatnot, and just showing I could really make music, you know, opposed to just, you know, putting a story out there. This is where, you know, I focused a lot on the music making. We had about 6 or 7 producers on the project, you know, so you could expect that diverse sound, you know, different from the first album, which it was a more consistent. The continuity was, you know, it was a very constant album as far as, you know, like the feels of it. It was very consistent. Yeah. You know, now you could expect, you know, a whole bunch of different feels. You know, you got your radio records in there as well. You got your records for the shorties. You got your party joints. You got those real talks. You know, you got your more personal records. So more diverse this time around.
So what made you choose the name for the album Premonition? Like, what do you foresee in the future, you know? What's going on with that?
I mean, depending on how you look at it, you know, it could be good or it could be bad, you know, depending on what you hope to see in the future of, you know, Franc Grams and this whole process here. You know, going into the Premonition, you know, we came off of a strong campaign with Let's Start Over, so we knew a lot of things were in our favor, a lot of things on the up and ups, and we had, you know, a lot of, you know, the cards that were dealt to us, you know, at this moment, this go around, you know, this here and here, you know, things were looking great. So the Premonition was kind of like letting everybody know, like, yo, it's about to happen. Something's about to happen. You know, whether that thing is good or is bad, it depends on, you know, what you banking on seeing from us. If you're wishing on a downfall, the Premonition's probably not going to be too good then.
No
know what I mean?
So what's your favorite record off that album? If you had to choose one.
If I had to choose one.
I know a lot of artists say, oh, it's like choose between your kids, but nah, dog. What's the first one you want to come out with? Be like, yo, this is the money joint. If you trying to show the big execs, like, all right, this is the Premonition, this is the album, this is the record I'm going with. What record would you put out there?
I see you kind of asked 2 different questions. I'm gonna answer it a couple different ways then.
Both.
You know, as far as if I had to play something for the execs, yo, I'd have to fill out the room. There's so many different feels on the album. Like if they're looking for, you know, an artist who could be commercially appealing.
You know. Just your peers, like if you're around a whole bunch of people you feel comfortable with, and it's like who in the same alignment is you. You know what I mean? Like
that's still a different question. I'm gonna answer it a few different ways. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just to show, you know, the musicality and what I could do music wise. You know, Ready to Go was a huge record as far as, you know, like commercially appealing. You know, could it bump on the radio? Also does a hold substance. Could it play in the clubs? I feel like it was a well-rounded record. There's a lot of melody to it as well. As far as like a hard joint that I would play like for, you know, like my peers and whatnot, you know, the joint I did with The Game was like, I feel like that was like the out the park, like everybody's gonna really rock with it record. Yeah. Personally, like a personal record to me, you know, that holds a lot of sentimental value. You know, anybody who's been following my story knows that, you know, my brother is a big concept in my music. He's a big topic that comes up very often and whatnot. You know, always talking about, you know, him being in jail and, you know, how that affected me and the fam. Like he was locked up for the past 9 years, and even before that, in and out. This album, I mean, he got out of jail early. Know what I mean? So to be able to get him actually on the album, like he dropped a verse on the that's personal, like to me. Like that's my favorite joint. It's called Money and Power.
Money and Power.
Yes,
oh
sir.
Yeah, and I like the hook. And that was produced by Smoke, right?
Smoke, yes sir.
Yeah. I mean, it's your brother, so of course you gonna have his back. But you feel like he gave you like a strong 16, or it's like, you know what, yo, it's work in progress. Yo. You know, you gotta be out a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yo, my brother, he's certified dope, man. Like at least in my book. I mean, like he's been like from the time that I was young, doing music, he was the one, sitting there writing the raps, and that's how I got into it, trying to be like him. He's like, just try it out. I tried it, and this is something I fell in love with. But he's polished as well, like every time he called home from when he was in jail, he was kicking verses and whatnot, which inspired me to do a lot of joints. There's another joint on there called Your Brother Loves You, in which I'm talking about, I have 3 siblings. I got a little brother, a little sister, and then my older brother. So on the joint, like it's like a message to all of them. But like that's at least the part to him is very him inspired, like something he said like triggered something I said. Like he's dope, man. The verse is hard. The verse is hard.
No doubt. So as far as the album, my favorite record on the album is the Trey the Truth joint. Tell you about how that came about.
Deadly Sins. Well, Trey, I did a show in Atlanta. I flew out there for the A3C festival. They had me out there as an official artist for the festival and whatnot. We was on this showcase called Girls Love Hip Hop, and he was one of the headliners. And I was opening up and whatnot. I was on the same showcase as dude. Just from being in the same building, I mean, like, this whole game is networking, man. He's in the building. I recognize his manager and whatnot.
Does he talk like how he rap? Does he like talking that little?
He does, son. It's good, yeah. I mean, so he was a real cool dude. Like, after he performed, like he did something really dope. Like, I mean, not like he like did a backflip or like jumped through a loop of flame or nothing like that. But like, he got off stage and he rocked in the audience, just chilling. Like no security, no nothing. Was just chilling. I mean, Mano performed next. He was just rocking with everybody talking and chilling. So I introduced myself. From there, I talked to this chain of commands. That's not like my homie or nothing. So I went through the manager to make it happen and talk to him. Like, I was like, I got a record that I want to send to him. We really didn't have a record we wanted to send to him, but we got in the studio with my dude J Beats out there. I mean, J Beats and whatnot. He we jumped in the studio, we recorded the joint, we sent it to them, and I mean, they was with it. And I mean, like, we also have a mutual friend of ours. It's like one of the girls, like his sister, she's like my PR person and whatnot. So she made it all happen. She linked it up, man.
Who produced that record? I think that beats money.
My boy Lando. He actually produced most of the Premonition. He produced like 7 joints, 7 out of like what was it, like 13, 14 joints on there.
From my head, or where's he from?
I don't know where Lando's from. I mean, he's from somewhere like, real like.
Has he been on, or is it like somebody you just connect when y'all still trying to build and actually come up together, or does he have like credits with like other artists or something like that? Like how'd y'all come? He's working as well. He's on the come up. He was actually out there with us in Atlanta as well. He was holding it down, driving us around, rocking with us, just chilling and whatnot. As far as credits, I'm really not sure his credits. He got a joint with the dude Troy Ave. I mean, he used to produce a lot for them. I got linked up, from hearing, joints he did for them and whatnot. We had a mutual friend who introduced us, and it was just money. The connection was just real. The production was dope, and it was just everything came together perfectly, man. So while we on the subject of the album and features, how about the Game? That's a big look. You got the Game. He even name dropped you. He's known for name dropping every album. You're like, yo, Frank, pass me the blunt.
The Game.
How you pull that off, man?
The Game showed a lot of love. Shout out to my manager Lou, for kind of always being on his toes and just putting us in the best situations. But,
and Lou, my bad, I mean cut you over. Lou, we need an interview with you too, man, because you was big on World Star. You had beef with like 20 rappers on World Star. We gotta talk about that soon too, man. But big up to Lou, man.
The homie Lou. Every time we do remixes, to like industry joints, we just try every avenue to get them out there, not just putting them on, the SoundClouds and leaving it to the blogs. But Lou always, one thing he does, he sends the joints out to like the labels or to the teams of the people that did the original joint. So I remixed the joint of Games called Bigger Than Me. And Lou hopped on the Twitter or whatever, found out who to send submissions and stuff to, and just sent them the joint. Nobody usually responds. Everybody's too cool, too big to pay attention to music being sent to the inbox. But they reached back out, and it was like, yo, you killed the Bigger Than Me joint. It's real dope. Like, yo, do y'all want to work? Lou sent the word to me. I was like, yo, they kind of out of our budget. Like, this, like, yo, that's the Game. Like, I mean, we ain't. Nah, it was. I was like, yo, tell dudes we appreciate it and whatnot. But yo, it's not in the cards for us. Right. So he sent that message back, and they responded like, yo, I don't think you really understand. Like, yo, we want to work. So they were just with it. I mean, so whatever. I just got in the studio just to see what it could be. I reached out to my dude Joe Millie. He's the producer. He also produced for me in my early stages, like my high school days. He used to produce joints for me all the time.
Yeah.
He sent me a beat. I jumped in the studio, recorded the song, called on the homie Just Cuz, that's my boy from around the way, on the hometown and whatnot. He dropped the hook, and we just sent it out to them and whatnot. Within 3 days, they had sent the joint back. Like, we heard it, we just dumbing out. Like, yo, the game, show love, whatever. So, it's a great situation and whatnot. The record came together dope, man.
All right, so you got the For the Kill 2. And you touch on Joe Budden. What happened with you and Joe Buttons? You know what I'm saying? You talk about how he tried to, like, play you, whatever, and it kind of inspired you to, be on some different type of stuff.
It really wasn't like, it was, I wouldn't call it like a diss, but like it was just a moment in life where, something happened, that inspired me to think a certain way, to feel a certain way, which, pushed the grind into the next level. We was out in Texas for the South by Southwest Festival, and I had a performance out there, a couple performances out there, and we were invited to the Two Dope Boys Dope House party. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, we're there and whatnot, and just there's people in the building. There's a lot of people in the building. Q from the OG Bobby Johnson songs in the building. A load of Lux came through. Like, Joe Budden had showed up and whatnot. I seen him and I remembered him. I've actually been to Joe Budden's house a few times and whatnot. He had pool parties and all that. That I was there for a couple years back. So when I seen him, like, I ain't approach him like, yo, that's the homie or nothing. But we know each other. I was on his tour for a couple of the dates for the No Love Lost tour he did. Matter of fact, it was the second First Impression tour that I was on for 2 of the dates at the Toad's Place, and we did the show in Cambridge, Mass. Then so I see him, I said, "No, let's go," or whatever. At the time we had some money on us, to pull together some features and whatnot, or whatever we want to do. We just had some money on us, like we was out there trying to network. So when I seen him, I'm like, "Yo, Joe Budden is one of my favorite like artists of like all time or whatever." So I see the dude, and I'm like, "Yo, what's good?" Blah, dapped up. He keeps it moving. We kept moving. We drinking in there, whatever. So after I approach him, like, "Yo, we both out here, and I got a studio, around the way. Yo, what does it take, to get some work done? Like, how do I get you in the studio? Can we make something happen?" So, he responds like, "Yo, like, come on, son, like, yo, I ain't that hard to get a hold of." So, like, he said that, and I'm looking at son like, I obviously know that I'm in front of you. Like, am I supposed to, you clearly not that hard to get in touch with. You're right in front of me. I'm supposed to leave from here and then call you or tweet you or something. So, like,
my people talk to your people.
Exactly. Like, I was like, yo, exactly why I'm approaching you. Approachable. We're in the same place. It ain't no shit, nothing like that. So, he kind of kept moving, whatever. So I was like, all right. So, I waited a minute, and I seen him outside. So I walked up. I was like, yo, should I like hit up your manager or whatever? Like, so he looked at me like, "Yo, did you just follow me?" So like,
yo, was he peeled up? I wasn't loving him, bro. He said you peeled up.
Man, it must have been something, man. But at that point, I was just like, yo, all right, it is what it is, man. I just kept it moving. Like, we ain't really had no interest in doing the feature after that. Like, I got pride, man. I got pride.
So, all right, because like, it kind of remind me of a story. Shaq said he was a little kid, and he went to David Robinson for an autograph. And he straight egged him. He kind of like mushed him like, "Yo, get out of here, little boy." You know what I'm saying? And now, like, he was like, "Yo, I got a league. I took it upon myself to punish him every time I see him." So if you get on, like, you going to be on some stuff like, I'm going to punish Joe Buttons every time I see him. If he in the same arena as me, I'm going to take shots. Like, do you think it could, like, do you still harbor some feelings of, like, rap is competitive sports, so, like, I don't know if you're the type to take shots at people, but, he kind of disrespects you in a sense. Like, I
don't know that dude, so it's not like no personal situation where I got like these bitter, this ill will towards anybody. But musically, I just felt like, like, I'm gonna take it personal musically. Like, I'm gonna show through the moves and the success. Like, I bet, like, you styled on me. Like, I'm about in the record I say, I'm a style on what's again wild on again. That's why you see this smile on again. Like I ain't got no worries. I know where we're headed, man. Like that. To me, that wasn't going to make or break a Franc Grams career. We're still going to get exactly where we're going. But, again, I reached out. Like, as a fan, I was reaching out. I ain't want no handout. Like, I was down to, put up some bread. I'm a Joe Budden's fan. Like, you know what I mean? So, just seeing them in the same area, just knowing, like, I bet I got the capacity to make this happen right now. Let's do it. That's all it was. So,
yeah, man. We go. Speaking of rap beef, you got Lil Wayne, so your track. You know what I mean? You had the record, I've arrived, and then all of a sudden he dropped a joint called She Will. You know, tell everybody what happened with that whole debacle.
Nah, he didn't. It wasn't a situation where he like stole the beat. For a while, we really didn't know exactly like the specifics exactly what happened. But so I was working with an old manager of mine, not Lou. I had a old manager of mine, no names or nothing. You know, he sent me some production. I mean, he was working he got a job with a label and whatnot. He was working for, you know, some big artists and whatnot, and he was like the A&R. So all the production will go through him. He'll sort through it, and I mean he'll pass it on. The ones that he feels like they'll rock with, he'll pass it on to the artist and whatnot. So being in that position, he had a lot of relationships with producers. T-Minus being the producer of the She Will or the I Have Arrived track, you know, whatever you want to call it. He had a relationship with him. T-Minus sent him some beats, you know, to submit to some of the artists he was working with, and they didn't want it. You know, I heard Jeezy got the beat. I heard he didn't want it. Like a few people didn't want the beat, so like he passed it to me like, yo, finish the record up, and I mean, here's a beat, blah, finish the record up. When you're done, send it to me. I'll clear it. I'll send it to the whatever. So me and my manager had a fallout. You know, I finished the record, and he was like slacking on getting it done. He was brushing me off and whatnot. So I spent some money. I mean, trying to get this record done and whatnot. So like, he wasn't getting it cleared. I'm pressing him. He's like, yo, I'm kind of busy. Like he was working with labels. I give him the benefit of the doubt, but he was like, yo, if you want to find another manager, find another manager. So we had that fallout and whatnot. So I could never get the record cleared. So I had this record and whatnot, and I was like, you know what, like, I guess I'm just gonna have to put it out without being cleared. And I never was in a situation like that where like anything as drastic as like Lil Wayne hopping on my beat would happen. So it wasn't really a foreseeable outcome. So whatever, we put the record out, and I end up getting a phone call. I'm summing up some of the stories. Long story short, whatever. I get a phone call from a friend of a mutual friend. I mean, who was like, yo, you can't use this beat. I'm like, why not? He was the A&R himself, so he knew where the beat actually ended up going to. He was like, yo, I had this beat. Like, I don't know how you got it, Frank, but I had this beat myself, and this beat, went to Lil Wayne, and it's going to be on his new album. So he's like, you can't use it with blah. So to me, I'm like, so Lil Wayne is going to drop a single on his beat, and I got it first. $signs. I'm like, yo, I can't use the beat. I was like, I'm definitely using this beat. So I just threw the shout, whatever. Just Cuz, my boy Just Cuz was on the song, he's on the hook. He was living in Florida at the time. I flew out from Florida. We had a crib out there or whatever. He came back. I flew him back because I was like, yo, we gotta shoot a video for this. Yo, Lil Wayne's gonna drop this song, blah, blah. We got it first. Yo, something could be crazy. Let's make it happen. Just Cuz flew back. We shot the video, put it out. As the dude called me and said, Lil Wayne wasn't even out of jail yet when we did the record, when I recorded the record. He got out, recorded, whatever. So I put the video out and all that. And then sure enough, a couple months down the line, Lil Wayne drops the record on the same beat. So it was rightfully, you know, it was just kind of.
So Birdman try to muscle you like, yo, playboy.
You do the. Him rubbing the hands together like, yo, Grams.
You don't play that.
He's stupid. He's stupid.
All right, let's switch it up, yo. So like, what are some influences as far as your rapping style? Who would you compare yourself to? You know, or you like, you know, you one of one? Number four. I mean,
we're all influenced, you know, by. You know, I grew up listening to music, and I mean, so, you know, like, as anything, you know, if you're a ball player, and I mean, you grew up watching Kobe AI, you might see some of the street ball moves from the AI in the game, or you might see that smooth Kobe finesse style in the game. I mean, as far as, I wouldn't say so much who I'd compare myself to, but like certain elements, you know, like when you listen to an artist like Fab or something, you'll catch, you know, a lot of the witty, clever wordplay, and I mean, in my bars and whatnot. Or you catch some of the more complex, you know, smooth flow patterns, is like a Hove or something, whatever. And I mean, you'll listen to like a Pac, and you'll get some of those deep thoughts, and I mean, or whatever, like, even melody wise, there's just so many things, like the pun, the machine gun style flows, like you'll catch all those, you know, jumbled in with my own twist on everything and whatnot.
So what's gonna be your niche though? What's gonna be like, you know what? I gotta have that Frank. It's Friday night, or matter of fact, it's a Tuesday morning. I need to hear some Frank. Like, what is it about you that's gonna draw people to you, in your opinion?
Yo, I honestly never really think of anything like that. Right. I think, you know, the people are kind of like, you know, from tuning into the music, and, you know, over a period of time, you know, people start to form their own opinions on what makes me. And I mean, I think people are really kind of coming with that themselves and whatnot. But I know when people do tune into my music, you know, you're going to catch a message. You're going to catch some witty lines. You're going to catch some flow patterns. You're going to catch a catchy hook. You know what I mean? You're going to catch good musicality. You know what I mean? But as far as, you know, that one thing that stands out to the people, that's really on them. I don't go into the booth or to the writing process like, yo, before the end of the song or do it throughout the song, I gotta make sure I do this. Oh damn, I'm almost done writing the song. Damn, I didn't even do my signature move. It's nothing like that.
All right. So the Connecticut record, you put it out last summer, right?
Connecticut came out last summer, yes sir.
Right. You had the Billboard popping.
Yes sir. We had a couple. We had about 3 or 4.
Oh, you had 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, my bad.
Nah, bro. That wasn't like a flex or nothing. That wasn't a flex.
No, I was like that. Like, what's stopping you from flexing on people? Like, you on World Star, you got these features, you on South by Southwest. You know what I'm saying? What's stopping you from flexing? Like, I mean, you a humble dude. There's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, that's a you know, a trait that could draw mad fans to you. But sometimes you being a rapper, you know, you gotta spar a little bit. Like, what's stopping you from flexing on dudes?
I mean, I feel like I spar and compete every time I do what I do. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at, you know, the artistry or the musicality of an artist, or, you know, like the elements that they possess as a writer, you know what I mean? Like, those are constantly compared, no matter if you saying someone's name or you styling or you know what I mean, you flexing or not. With me, it's just like, you know, I got my eye on the prize, my eyes on the finish line. I mean, and I'm pacing, I'm speeding towards it, right? And it's just like, to me, just because I don't equate my success to how far ahead of the competition I am. If I didn't cross the finish line, I ain't finished the race yet. Like, I don't win until I win. Know what I mean? I don't win when I'm ahead of y'all. Know what I mean? Like, so I just kind of equate my successes to something different. But as far as flexing, I mean, you will catch me. Know what I mean, on them freestyles though. You know, always talking. I mean, talking a little reckless, a little greasy every now and again. You know, styling on the competitors. Or,
because I was gonna get at it. Like, do you feel like you the king of New London? Like, who's the king of New London? I'm kind of like, this is what I'm gonna do on the station. In the coming months, I kind of want to put out a pecking order. Like, who's the illest out here? Who the king of New London? Like, do you feel like, yo, you want to step in for the crown, or you like, you know what? I'm not even in all that. I'm just gonna do me, and that's that. I mean, or is there a competitive fueling you that's kind of like, you know what, man? Yes, I'm the king of New London, mother.
Yo, I'm not.
Alright, I got all this out. Go ahead.
I mean, it's one of the things that doesn't cross my mind as far as being a king. Cause I feel like, you know, everybody is going to formulate their own opinions and say what they want. You know, be it facts or be it not. But I feel like, you know, like, you know, the facts. In the facts, if we're talking facts and we're putting opinion aside and we're putting, you know, everybody's crew's opinions, know what I mean, to rest and whatnot, like, and you was to find some unbiased, you know what I mean, group of individuals, know what I mean, to really, you know, to really put the numbers up on the scoreboards and all that, like, yo, like, the moves speak for themselves, know what I mean? Like, I've done things that have never been done in the area, know what I mean? We're talking about New London, know what I mean? And will probably never be done unless I do them. Know what I mean, moving forward. Like, you've never,
go flex.
Like, you check, you know what I mean? Like who's taking the flights I take? I mean, who's putting the money in that I'm putting in? Who else got
flex.
The billboards? Nah,
flex.
But who else got, you know, these records with, you know what I mean, with artists of the caliber that I did? Who else? You know what I mean, let's put aside, you know, like the whole, like, let's put aside that. Let's talk about work ethic. You know what I mean? Like, yo, who else is putting out 2 albums in a year? This year alone, I put out about 50 records. Just this year, 2014, I put out about 50 records. That breaks down to about a record every single week for the whole year. Know what I mean? So if we're going to talk about, you know, who's the best or who's doing it the best or who's the king, let's talk about some things we can really measure. All that opinion, I'm the greatest, or my song, like, we can't measure that. We can measure, know what I mean, who's putting out material as consistent, know what I mean? Like, listen to the mix downs. Who's investing this money for their music to even sound, you know, the quality, know what I mean, that mine is coming out. Like, that's not, though. I feel like there's no competition when it comes, know what I mean, to comparing me to the next person in the area. And I show love out here, man. I'm also, aside from that, I'm putting on for the area. You catch something like the New London Talent Show happening every year for the past 4. We're going into the 5th year. I mean, sold that out for the town. You know, 1,450 people, 2 years for them. So and I'm back again to do it again. Like, I'm showing love and putting artists on the stage as well.
Well, I mean, why was you in the New London Cypher? Like, you had, like, I don't know, 23 rappers on the New London Cypher. You know, did they reach out to you? You was like, oh, maybe you wasn't interested, or what happened with that? 'Cause I was expecting to see you in it. And some of them were good, some of them were doo-doo. I'm not naming names.
Yeah.
I'm still supporting my people out in New London, but nobody approached you about it, or you.
Not only was I not approached about it, but like, I feel like even if I was, at the moment, like everything I'm doing, like I'm not just out here, making music and doing everything like because it's a hobby at this point.
Yeah.
I have fun, doing everything I do. Like I'll jump in, street ciphers when people are rapping. I still do little, fun, little just kicking flows around the area and whatnot. I'll do shows. It is what it is. But like, as far as like at a serious level, like it's not a game to me at this point. You know what I mean? Like, we got a plan, and I'm kind of just calculated with my moves at the moment. I want to be seen when I want to be seen, how I want to be seen.
Right.
Like you said, like something like that, like you listening to it and you're saying like, yo, some are doo-doo, some are nice. And I'm looking at it, and I watched it myself. And as far as like some of the artists who are putting, heavy work in, or who people would consider to be the best, I don't know if they weren't reached out to, or they didn't want to, but I don't see the complete representation of the town as the town would want to see it. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't, like, not to throw no shade on anybody, but like, yo, there's a lot of dope cats that, the hometown are scream for. That I really shout for, that they really rooting for, and they want to represent them. So who picked the representation of the artist? Is it just like, yo, we boys, we homies, and we all from around here, let's just do this? Or was it really like, yo, this is the New London representation? I don't know how that was picked.
All right, no doubt.
But
so actually got the album dropping, the album coming out, the premonition. What's the next move from here?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to happen, man. Like, I kind of want people just to let things unfold and whatnot. But we're gonna keep working. We're gonna hit the road. Do these shows. We're gonna continue to take these flights. We're gonna jump back in the studio. Bang these records out. We got a lot of heavy music coming. It's a lot going on. Next week we got the album release party. December 12th. It's gonna be crazy.
All right, at Hannafins, right?
At Hannafins, yes sir. At Hannafins.
Yo, I want some tickets to put you on the air right now. You know what I'm saying? Put you on blast right now.
Yes sir. I got you, homie. I got you. 92.9 WDUP is gonna be in the motherfucking building.
Yeah, word. So let's talk about real quick about your community influence. Like, you do a lot of things for community. You know what I mean? Touch on that. It ain't all about grams. Like, you hear the word grams. You think you out here, wreaking havoc on the streets. You're doing good right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell everybody about that real quick.
I touched on, the New London Talent Show. That's one of the things I started about 5 years ago in response to, a murder that had happened out in the area. The youth were being, painted in such dark colors and catching a lot of, bad press and medias and being stereotyped for a lot of things that, that they just aren't. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to give them a chance, speak for themselves and, give them an outlet to express, exactly who it is that they are, do what they want to do and be seen in the lights they want to be seen on. So we put them on the biggest stage, to the spotlights on them, about 40 kids every single year. And 1,450 people in the crowd, sold it out 2 times. It happens it's an annual thing we do. We just kind of wanted to give the youth that platform to be able to do so. So right now we're going into the 5th year. We're doing auditions. Anyone can come out, ages 10 to 26. There's 3 more audition dates. I have those posted, all the time on the page. You can check me out via Facebook, Franc Grams, Twitter, Instagram, Franc Grams, whatever. But that's one of the things we did. A couple years ago we put together a program called the Give a Child the Mic program, in which we took young artists in the area and we actually built a studio from ground up ourselves. We built the studio. It was all independently funded. We didn't have no budgets. We didn't have no backings or no sponsorships like that. But we built it ourselves, and we put children inside of the studio to record their music. And we put out a song for an artist called Sarah B, called Way Too Young, which was dope. It caught fire around the area. Couple thousand views on the YouTube, and she was a little celebrity in the area, dope artist, talented. She was also in the talent show as well. There's a bunch of things that we do. We had the water gun fights happening, for the town. All summer and whatnot. We threw the big event for the kids, the water gun fights, the trophies and all that. Just anything we could do, just to shine some light, to bring some entertainment and some fun and whatnot. So I'm happy of the value of happiness, you know, to the kids, to the young ones, to the area as a community and whatnot. So, you know, I'm always around to help out through the arts. I worked at the Red is Black program with the kids. We put on a huge show that touched on a lot of real life issues that's going on in their lives and whatnot, and how they see the world. And we wanted to portray that to the area. It's a very powerful thing. So
yeah, I'm kind of postal. I got one question. I'm kind of postal, right?
Yep.
Name's Frank.
Yes, sir.
Friends with you on Facebook. I see Frank.
I see where this is going.
Ends with a K.
Ends with a K.
And then in between that, you got another Frank that ends with a C, Grams, and then you got your last name, Coleman Millionaires, whatever.
Coleman.
You know what I'm saying? That should be your name. Yeah, Chamillionaire, Chamillionaire, whatever.
Stupid.
But yo, man. I mean, what's wrong with the
Yo, I was rooting for you just now to be the first person to say my last name right.
Coleman-Naires.
Yeah, close enough.
Chamillionaires.
Good, there we go.
Frank Chamillionaires. He was at South by Southwest. He linked up with Chamillionaire and they swapped names. That's all.
That's stupid. So. Nah, I mean, everything that I, you know, I'm an artist, man. I'm big on like wordplay and whatnot. Yeah. You know, so first, you know, the name Grams, you know, those who follow the story, I always talk about, you know, how I looked up to my big brother and whatnot. And, I wanted everything he had, you know, growing up. Just I didn't want it, you know, to get it the way he had it. You know, he was heavily in the streets and whatnot. And I was like a young kid just watching my brother go in and out of jail, you know, being affected by that. So again, I wanted, you know, the things he had, just didn't really want to get it the way he necessarily got it. You know, so Grams was symbolic of the hustle. You know, his hustle being the streets, mine being music. Yeah. You know, me being Grams, I'm the product being sold. So it was always, no matter the street corner or the music store, still Grams were selling. Mm-hmm. That's where Grams came from. As far as Frank, I'm big on like, you know, speaking things in the faith. And, you know, and just making it happen. You know, I'm big on, you know, the energy and the powers of the universe and whatnot. You know, and just, like I said, just having faith, you know, and speaking things in existence. So, you know, changing the name Frank, F-R-A-N-K, to F-R-A-N-C was just, you know, representative on, you know, what I was going to do with my net worth and whatnot. Like, I mean, my brand is going to be worth something one day. My name is going to be, you know, worth something.
Yo, but K is worth 100,000. So C, what's that on? That's sense. I think you moving backwards, bro.
I'm moving backwards. Nah, but Frank, you know, Frank was just the word currency. Yeah, I mean, the currency too.
That man. So yeah. Just one last question, man. As far as record deal, or like, you want to sign with a major, or you want to go independent, or you just like you open it either or, whoever presents the best opportunity for you.
I mean, when people, you know, looking at that, it's really, you know, whatever situation is best. I mean, it's not really, oh, I'm with a major, so I'm doing great. It's people that do terrible, you know, on majors, and there's people that also excel, you know, independently and whatnot. So it really comes down like to the situation, you know. Right now, the way we're doing it independently, like really just me, you know, and two of my dudes just all splitting all the costs on everything that we're invested into. You know, we start to see firsthand, you know, how much it's really cost and whatnot. You know, putting out projects now, I mean, with $25,000 budgets, $30,000 budgets, doing videos that cost $4,000 and doing a couple of those for a project and whatnot. Yeah. Taking flights, you know, back and forth, you know, for these festivals. And I mean, pressing up material, selling material, merchandise, all that kind of hotels, everything. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff cost. You know, so the one thing that helps, I mean, with a major label is doing it on not only a bigger scale, but having a budget to do so and not being, you know, out of pocket cost and whatnot. Yeah. You know, right now, I mean, it would be great to not be out of pocket, you know, with a lot of these costs. But again, it's just a situation that's right. You know, we already know where we're headed. I mean, our steps are in order, and we have no problem investing because, like I said, like I'm big on faith. We know where this is going. We're not guessing. We're not gambling. We know exactly, you know what I mean, what we're doing here. So we know it's just a matter of time, not a matter of if, but a matter of when and whatnot. So if there was a major label situation that presented itself that just worked out, you know, in our favors and was, you know, at ease in everybody's mind, then no doubt we'll go with that. That's like a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Yeah. But other than that, you know, we'll be continuing to chase everything independently. And get it ourselves, you know what I mean? So,
no doubt. Yeah, there you have it. The boy Frank Grams,
Premonition.
You know what I'm saying? Premonition. Get it right away. Dope album. You know, and what we gonna do, especially for 929? We gonna play the whole album, so you get to hear from
you get
top to bottom. You get the whole album
to the bottom. It's gonna be the first listen, man. We tuned in right now to 92.9 WDUP. It's the Premonition. Frank Grams, Connecticut. What's up? New London. What's up? We're here.
Believe it, and you say the king of New London. Respect. But yeah. You
he said that, but I'll take it.
Now, No, he doing the most down here. Y'all gotta step it up.
Facts.
I mean,
he got the game.
You might have to get Tony Yayo to mess with him. You might have to get Kid or something.
Ain't no lie in that, man.
Yeah, it's 92.9 WDUP. Thanks for rocking with us. Got Franc Grams. I don't know if it ends with a C or a K right now. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get to the album right now. 92.9.